Hi there and welcome. My name is Alexandre Marreiros. The main goal of this cast is to teach you how to address a common question developers have about multilanguage when working with WordShard. The main reason this question had been seen as a problem in the past is because multilanguage is not a WordShard out of the box kernel feature. That doesn't mean that you can't build websites that support multi-language. There are already models and techniques to allow you to do that. This is what we will see in this demo. Our site that we will be built together will have a culture picker that enables user to choose the right culture and the capacity to deliver contents according to user choice. So when you have a multi-language problem, typically there are three angles to look at that problem. First, localization. Second, culture settings and choices of the user. And third, the delivery of the right contents according to that choices. So with this in our mind set, let's start our demo. Here I have a clean installation of WordShard. Let's go to the dashboard. First of all, you have already noticed for sure that in the settings of WordShard you have the capacity to choose another culture. Here you have, I have chosen Portuguese from Portugal, English from US. Okay, now let's solve the problem of localization by going to the gallery and installing a model that WordShard team had built, named localization. Let's enable the model. Let's also install another model that are in the gallery named Culture Picker that help us with the part of choosing a culture and redirecting user according to his choices. So enough of installations. Let's start by going to the widgets and to adding to our header page the picker culture. If we go back to our site, you'll see we have already the capacity to pick the right culture for us. Now let's walk to the content part. I'll create a new page, name it Home English. Okay, I'll set this as a home page and I'll show this on the main menu as home. Let's publish now. If you go now to all the contents you have in the site, you'll see that we have here a new option to add a translation. This option is enabled with the enabling of the localization model. Now I can make the variation of my initial page. If I publish, if you get back to the content, you see that now I have here two contents there is a way to grant that there only appears one content and the translation will be a combo, but that will not be addressed in this demo. If we get back to our site, you'll see that in English we have a home English with this menu, and if we change to Portuguese we have now a home Portuguese menu. One issue about this technique to build a multi-language website: if we create a new content, a page content, named page aux, for example, in the native language, we will see that if we go back to our site, that new content hadn't been delivered. Why? The reason is because the main menu of WordShard, when localization are enabled, only presents contents related with the culture that we have chosen here. If you have created a new content that doesn't have translation, so that content isn't considered by the model in none of the cultures. This is an issue to be reviewed in the future. So if you go back to the content and we translate the aux part to Portuguese, you will see that name aux start to appear according to culture choice. So you can ask me, but if I do not pretend that have a translation, or I have a page that only makes sense in English culture, in that case you have in the same to create the translation, but you can say that one of the translations is not appear on the main menu, and here you have, in English you have the two, in Portuguese you only have home PT. There are another models that I will not address now, but that can be interesting when you build advanced multi-language websites that are here in the gallery. One of them is the culture layer, that allows you to create layers based on the culture choice. This can be a great improvement in some cases. And you have also a menu, a new menu that was launched yesterday, I think, that works very well with the new culture model that we had used. Our menu is named simple selection menu. So I hope you had liked this presentation, and that it will be useful for you. Any question, feel free to ask. See you later. Have a good work.